Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. A closer look at agriculture in South Carolina and conversations between the current and future leaders of agriculture in the Palmetto State and experts from across America. Presented by the students of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe.
Welcome to this session of Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water, the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe's podcast and YouTube channel. We're excited to have a couple guests with us from across the big pond and from Ukraine. And we also have a guest with us from Clemson University who originally hails from the great state of Florida. So with us today, we have Professor Bogdana Vyshnivska, who is a visiting professor from Ukraine National University of Life Environmental Sciences in Kiev. She's right now at Penn State University on a scholarship, working on some international research in agriculture, kind of a visiting scholar for this spring semester. I think she leaves us at the end of April. And then also Dr. Dale Layfield, an old-time friend of mine and a former colleague from when I worked with Clemson on state staff. He is a professor of agricultural education at Clemson University, my alma mater, go Tigers. And he's also an alum of Penn State University, where professor is working this spring. So we will get right in with this conversation. And first question I wanted to ask Professor Vyshnivska is, what department do you work in Ukraine and at Penn State?
Hello, everybody. I work in the Department of Marketing and International Trade, and we have a lot of students who choose specialty marketing, management, international affairs, international management, etc. So it's very popular specialty, and we have different students even from China. We have students not just from Ukraine, and also we teach in English because our students choose double degree program, and after second year they actually can choose any country, for example, like Poland, Germany, Italy, and continue their education in these countries in English. So in the end of education, they can get two diploma of our university, and also diploma of European university.
Awesome. How many students do you teach?
Especially me, for example, each group, it's approximately 20-25 students, and especially me, I have 5 groups, so it's a lot of students.
Well, you were worried about your English, but your English is much better than mine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
A really good job. Next question, Dr. Dale Layfield. Tell me a little bit about your career. You've had a long career. We were talking a little bit earlier, but tell me about your career at Clemson.
Thank you, Dr. Keown. I'm in my 25th, wrapping up with my 25th year at Clemson. I started in 1999 and have been there through that time. Started, of course, as assistant professor. I was at Iowa State for 1 year on a temporary position before I began at Clemson. So I got there and have worked in agricultural education many different ways, taught a lot of technology courses, a lot of graduate students. We've had quite a few graduate students, and we started 3 years ago an online master's program. And so I'm the primary person that works with that also.
What is your two connection? How did you two meet, and discuss that connection?
I met Bogdana when she was here in 1999 on a visiting professor exchange program, of course, from Ukraine. And she came with USDA, supported that. And she also met what became my wife later. And so Olga, and they were friends while there. So Olga's originally from Russia, and she was there that was the last semester that Olga was at Penn State, because she was there 98, 99. And so luckily she got a chance to meet Bogdana at that time in the fall semester of 99.
So you all have been close friends for 25 plus years.
Yes.
Yes,
And
it is.
So is this the first time that you've seen each other since back there?
Yes,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's right.
That's
That's
awesome.
So
right.
I can
We
say that it's my
communicated online.
Jubilee visit to USA in
So this
25
is kind of like a
years.
homecoming or a reunion for you two.
Exactly.
So, Professor, what is your program? What are you doing at Penn State? We mentioned Ukraine earlier, but tell us your connection with Penn State now.
So at Penn State, I have international research in agriculture. This program supported by one famous family. They are actually Ukrainians, and they support research and teaching in Ukraine. So they invite professors from different universities from Ukraine for different fields. And the main idea of this program is to exchange teaching methods, to work out new course. So, for example, me, I'm almost done new course, green marketing, because I'm interested in marketing. So actually, it will be a new course for Penn State University. In the end of April, I'm going to present my new course, and also it will be a new course for my university in Ukraine. So in May, I will present my new course in Ukraine, like a result of my internship.
That is amazing. I need to visit, or we need to take a field trip to Penn State, it sounds like, before the end of April. So we only have a couple of weeks. So have you enjoyed your time in the U.S.?
Sure,
Yeah?
of course,
Yeah,
of
good.
course.
Well, go Nittany Lions, right?
Right.
So,
Yes, it is.
Dr. Layfield, I'm a Clemson grad 3 times. I've given them a lot of money over my life, right? A lot of tuition dollars. How much or what have you seen Clemson change in the last 25 years, the university?
Quite a bit in many different ways. Of course, structurally, the campus is exploding, which for the good. We've had a lot of great additions to the campus, and that's been really a positive thing. But also, some of the changes. Of course, we had quite a few females in agricultural education in the late '90s, early 2000s, but that has grown now to where it's probably about 80% or more female in the agricultural education teacher ed area. So we've grown quite a bit in that way. So that's another major change, which has been great. But so that's one of the ways that things have changed in that area. So and the just the field itself, we've had quite a few that, of course, agricultural education master's program. We now have, aside from our online masters, we actually now have a master's in agriculture, which then has an emphasis area or a concentration area either in agricultural education or in ag systems management. So it's the ag mechanization people or the ag ed people that are actually on campus now that are doing either a master's with a thesis or a PhD with a dissertation. And that's a new addition that we've had in the past 3 years too.
I was about to say, I didn't know Clemson had a PhD there now.
Yep.
So are you heading that up, or your colleague?
That's some of my primary responsibilities whenever it comes to agricultural education. Right now I have 3 advisees that are PhD students, and I have 2 new master's thesis students coming in the spring of 2025. We've already had 2 graduate with their master's with a thesis in ag ed, or with agriculture degree with ag ed emphasis areas or concentration. So that's that's something that has really, and we're excited about that too, that has expanded.
So ag education in South Carolina, if you're familiar with our state, the PD and the Low Country is the most agrarian areas of our state. In my former position, it was always tough to fill some of those teaching positions there. Are we still having that same outlook?
We're having definitely. We need all that we can get.
Yep.
We can't fill all the positions that are there.
That's a good problem.
And the demand is a wonderful problem. And the demand actually, the middle school programs have expanded a lot since I've been here. There were just a few middle school programs, and now I believe we're over 20. And it seems that many middle school principals want to add more and more and more. So the demand, we have plenty of jobs available. We could definitely use more majors.
So we need a shameless plug in there for the Clemson Ag Ed major.
We do, exactly.
So if you're out there listening and you're a rising senior who loves agriculture.
Exactly.
Yep.
We need your interest. We want you there.
not just a rising high school senior? What if you're a rising Clemson grad or wildlife major?
Yeah, that's another piece that I need to mention. My colleague in the department with me, Dr. Catherine DiBenedetto, led the development of a certificate program. So if you either have just graduated and if you're in animal science or wildlife or any of those that have taken a lot of the scientific program courses, then you can go ahead and stay for about 1.5 to 2 years and go through all the courses you need to get certified. Mm-hmm. So then when they walk out with that degree, they actually, not a degree, but a certificate, then they can go right into the classroom. And part of that includes student teaching and the methods courses and things like that. We have some students that will do that while they're still in the program in animal science or other areas. So they have a choice of either doing it before they even graduate, or they could go ahead and graduate and come right into that also.
So their options, if you want to become an ag teacher in South Carolina, your options are to graduate with a bachelor's from Clemson, student teach, then graduate,
right,
and then you're certified after you take praxis, et cetera,
right,
or an undergrad in any other major and a master's in ag ed. Or did I hear that
right? The main thing is it needs to be in the science areas, especially either in animal science, agricultural mechanization, those that have taken a lot of those same courses that our undergrad students have to have. So most of our undergrads, of course, have to have a lot of the applied science areas, the soils classes, the animal science classes, the horticulture classes. So they would need to take, and a lot of your students that are in wildlife or animal science or horticulture or agricultural mechanization, those students would definitely be great candidates for that certificate program.
I hear people often enter the workforce, maybe with DNR or forestry, and as they age, they realize that cruising timber is a pretty tough, demanding job, and want to come back in and teach high school ag. What advice would you have for that person, say a 35-year-old person who wants to get into ag education?
Right. Well, we would love to have them on campus if they will.
Right.
There are some alternative certification paths that they can do also because they have those skills and all of that. So that would require them to take some graduate coursework. That's something I would encourage them to talk to us as far as the online classes, because they do have to have at least 6 credits for the alternative certification they have to have that would be from Ag Ed.
I got you.
So we would love for them to come to campus and do the certificate if that would work for them, if that would be our preference.
Yep. So Professor, back to you real quick. Why don't you tell me a little bit of personal things? What about your family? I understand you have a family back home.
Yeah, sure. I am married and I have a daughter. My husband, he is a doctor of agriculture and he is professor of the same university as me. And he is interested in canola and rapeseed. Also, as I told you, we have a daughter. She is 13 years old. She is a schoolgirl. She is interested in music, dancing, so as usual, as regular teenager girl.
Yeah. So she's not interested in agriculture as much as her parents are.
I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah.
But it's her choice.
Well, I'm always recruiting for our school, so our first international student might be this young lady. So I want to recruit your daughter really hard while you're here. So, Dr. Layfield, and this is kind of an open question for both of you. Was choosing agriculture education or your undergrad degree, was that a good career choice? What advice would you have for our rising seniors you heard from some this morning who was like, one young lady, I don't quite know yet what I'm going to do. So was ag ed or your undergrad a good career choice?
I'll go ahead and speak on that. It has been a very good choice for me. It's taken me many places in my life, literally in many different ways. But I've had a chance to work with youth back in Florida whenever I taught for 5 years there, and then decided to go ahead and I loved working with teachers whenever I was teaching, and I was on several different teacher committees, professional development activities and things with fellow teachers. So that led me to go to Penn State to do my PhD. And during that time, I fell in love more so with just working with the teachers. And so after I finished my PhD, of course, like I mentioned, went to Iowa State. but the opportunities to impact people's lives, of course, and also involved with agriculture too at the same time. I think there's so many benefits to working in this area because we're contributing in different ways, education from that standpoint, but also, of course, agriculture. I've just enjoyed it. There's so many things that people can move on into if they want to, and I've really enjoyed working in that field of agricultural education, and I've had a chance now to work with graduate students a lot. I love working with working adults, and our online program really focuses a lot of times on some of those people. So I know how important it was for me, and I had to drive back and forth to the University of Florida where I was teaching agriculture in the evenings and to get my master's. So I know how much and how beneficial it is for them to stay at home now and work on their master's. So it has been a great career for me. I wouldn't change anything. I've loved it. And I think probably, as you always hear people say, probably the biggest thing to me has been the chance to work with so many special people. And definitely, as I brag, Tim Keown has been one of those that has kind of been special, very special for me in my life. And there's a lot of people here in South Carolina that I just truly think the world of. And that's probably been the biggest highlight of all of it.
I tell our folks, our employees here often, we might be in the education business, but not really. We're in the people business. Amen. So how about you? Was agriculture a good choice major for you?
Yes, well, speaking about me, it's from my parents because my dad, he was a professor of the Agriculture University and he taught agriculture economics, and my mom, she was associate professor of the same university, Agriculture University, and she taught statistics. So I can say that I'm grew up in university, at the Agriculture University, and also, it gives me a good chance to see different types of farming in different countries. For example, I visited a lot of farms in Poland, France, Germany, UK, USA. So I can compare the different ways how to do farming and what does it mean agriculture in different countries. And also it's a good experience for me, practical experience, and also I can teach my students and give them examples, real practical examples how to do farming. Especially I'm interested in marketing, so how to sell agriculture products, or for example, how to teach consumer to buy organic products and why these products expensive than regular products, etc. So as for me, it's really interesting and useful.
Well, we thank you for what you do, and we definitely thank you, Dr. Layfield, for your service to Clemson and South Carolina. How was your visit here today?
You know, I came a couple years ago, and I think it was right during COVID, and we only had a chance to really run around. It was during the summer too, so didn't get a chance to see as many things. But my head is spinning.
A lot to take in.
It's amazing. I appreciate your time. It's really wonderful to have the day to spend with someone that knows the depth that you do here of De La Howe. And I've worked with several of these students over the past few years, working with the public speaking contest and different things. Lyle Fulmer was the state winner on that. And just, it's amazing to see how these students are so well-spoken, so respectful, and passionate about what they do. And so it was really neat to get to hear some of them talk about their essays, their supervised agricultural experience projects, and just to see their life, their daily life, what it's like to have their courses and then go to the horse farm if they want to do that. And it's another thing that kind of makes us proud as Clemson people that we get to see our people, as far as our past students, that are teaching and actually impacting these lives of these students here at De La Howe. So I got to see several of the teachers that I've worked with in the past that I had students at Clemson. So it makes you very proud, but it's just amazing. I'm very proud of what's happening here at John De La Howe.
Well, thank you. I think we have 5 or 6 Clemson Ag Ed majors who are employees here, from ag teachers, myself, Miss Kinsley Miller. So they've all had, you've had your hand on several people here. So we appreciate that. You and other professors at Clemson. Did you enjoy your day here?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I'm so appreciate you and Dr. Layfield for invitation, having me here, and I'm really impressed of education system, and it was really nice to see how students involved in education process. It's not just theoretical; it's also practice at the same time, and how they to study here to do what they do. So I'm really impressed, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you for coming. Lastly, before we close, do you want to give a plug for if a person's listening or watching this, if they want to attend Clemson University Ag Ed, do you want to give your email, phone number, and social media?
Definitely, for sure. Definitely would like to encourage you to email me if you have a chance. I'd love to hear from anybody. Is DLAYFIE at Clemson, CLEMSON.edu, and my office number there is 864-656-5676. And that's probably two of the best ways to catch me there. So,
you all have a Facebook page as well, right?
we have a Facebook, agricultural education, and I'm trying to remember now the URL for that.
That's
but
okay.
Definitely, if you look up Clemson University Agricultural Education,
It should pop up.
we have that one, and there's a couple different ones. And then the Collegiate FFA also has a Facebook page too there.
I think they have an Instagram too, so you could search both of those and find those. And
exactly.
that's a good way also to follow you and your students.
Exactly.
Do you have social media? You want to give a plug to your university or email or?
Yes, sure. I can leave you my email.
Sure.
Send some information about
Okay.
my university. Maybe your students will be interested to someday visit my university, of course.
That would be nice. I could see
Visit
some
the
international
campus.
travel
Sure.
coming up. We do have some international travel coming up in the summer. Our students are going to visit Ireland, as you heard earlier. So,
Love that.
any final remarks from you two?
I just will throw out there one of the projects that we're working with. And if you get a chance to do a Google sometime, is Agribility in South Carolina.
Yes.
And we have part of a grant that I'm a part of with several of my colleagues there at Clemson. And we're trying to get people who may have different types of needs, physical, to help them to be in farming, either to continue in farming or to get them to go into farming. So the USDA supports this program. They don't give money necessarily to buy the lifts or anything, but we can pair people up with the people that have the money to help support someone if they need a lift for a tractor or anything that kind of helps them stay in farming. That's the idea with this Agribility. So if you get a chance to look that up, I encourage any of you, and we want to help anybody who has that need in the state of South Carolina. And so it's Agribility, AGRABILITY. So Agribility South Carolina. We have a web page, and also we do have a young lady that works with us for Instagram, and also for also on Facebook. We have a page for there too.
Our student Lyle Former, you mentioned earlier, is extremely interested in that, and
Exactly.
I think he's headed to Clemson next year after graduation for ag mechanics, but he has a very strong interest in that. So I hope that you two are able to.
We have worked together a few times already, and he's attended some of our meetings, and one of the times he had his official dress on.
Awesome.
And I was extremely proud of that. So Lyle makes us very proud, and I love his passion and interest in this area of Agribility.
Dr. Layfield, thank you for coming. Thank you for all you do
so
for South Carolina and Clemson University. Professor, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And we will see you all next time. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water.
Carolina's Field, Forest, and Water. A closer look at agriculture in South Carolina and conversations between the current and future leaders of agriculture in the Palmetto State and experts from across America. Presented by the students of the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture at John De La Howe. For more information on the South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture, visit our website at delahowe.sc.gov.